Hello, hello. Okay, we're here for episode 2 of Power Hour. We're some special guests this week. We've got Dan and Ricky. Oh, Ricky, we gotta get your name added on there.
Oh, yeah.
We can figure
We'll
that out.
fix it.
Ricky,
It's okay.
Ricky, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hey guys, my name is Ricky. I am a product engineer here at V0. We're shipping great stuff for you guys, and want to let you know.
Ricky's also sort of my desk mate. Though
Yeah,
I
okay.
don't really have a
Yeah.
desk yet in the new office, but de facto desk mate. And awesome. And we got Dan. You're in New York, yeah?
I'm in New York, and I'm shocked you don't have a desk because we just got like 10 times more desks than we've ever had.
So many people in the office. I don't have a dedicated one yet.
You need a flame one.
It's awesome. Dan, you want to introduce yourself and share a little bit where you come from?
I'm Dan. I'm on the product marketing team here at Vercel. If you've read one of our blogs, you may, or change logs, it may it may have been something that I contributed to. But my job is really to simplify all things Vercel and use our products so much that I can understand them, so that I can try to make you understand and love and use more of them. And so that's our goal today, is to try to go under the hood, or not under the hood, go on the actual surface level of V0 and see what we can build.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, Dan, your intro gave the intro for why we're here. So we tested V0 Power Hour before Christmas. It was so fun. We were building like silly holiday things, and it was a blast. And then we're all talking, we're like, let's actually show how you build a real app with the V0 team, fully with the V0 agent. And so I think earlier this week, we put out a call to the community of what you want to build. We got a lot of responses, some very robust ideas, of which Dan and Ricky might be upset with the one I chose, because it's not for the faint of heart, but it's really going to show the power of V0 and Vercel. So we're going to start building with that today. But before we get started, just a little reminder to be friendly, follow all the community standards in the chat. We'll be managing it, so ask questions. This really, as Dan said, is about like, we're going to be really honest about like what it looks like to build, the problems and questions we run into, the wins we have. So throw your ideas in the chat. If you have a feature you want to see to even more complicate what we're going to build, throw it in there and we'll try it out. And if you have any learnings that you don't understand of what V0 is doing, add that in there as well. And we want to do more of these. So if your curiosity is sparked and you have something you want to build, we'll get to it. But with that, I do have a little surprise before I give you the prompt, Dan. For everyone joining us today, we are going to have a credit code for you to build with us. So I'm going to drop it right now. We have not done this on a Power Hour yet.
This is the first, guys.
First, and it might have to be a standard now that I've done it.
It might have to be.
Awesome. Okay, Amy, do you mind dropping that in the community channel? Awesome. Okay, cool. Okay, so Dan, Ricky, y'all ready?
Indeed. Let's go.
Hope so.
Okay, so the prompt or the request for an app that we got is build a production-ready email inbox app using V0 and Vercel. Would like it to demonstrate V0's ability to scaffold full-stack applications with real authentication, database, and AI integration. Basically, they want you to be able to prompt AI drafts from an email box and build it all within V0 and Vercel using AI Gateway SDK. Y'all think you can do it?
I know it can.
You know,
And I am now more confident because Ricky's confident. And one of the things we were talking about before is before we started, was I'm not a V0 expert. I'm a user of V0. I just happen to use it a lot. And so Ricky thankfully agreed to support me if there's anything I should have been doing better, or I should have, like, clicked this or done something before something else. So if I stop prompts midway, it's just because I'm learning. And so I'm not an expert. I think Ricky is, though. And so that prompt sounds good to me.
Okay, let's get going.
All right, cool.
Again, you want to share your screen?
Yeah,
no pressure. It's a very vulnerable moment.
Yeah, no, this is it. This is what we signed up for. And so, Ricky, one thing that I'm thinking is, like, I feel like if I were building an inbox that had an auth system and had like database behind the scenes, like, I actually don't know if I would start with auth, because I kind of want to build towards like what my database might look like and what my users might look like. So I don't know. Some part of me is feeling like I should build the inbox first and then add complexity later on by adding like, okay, let's add a database, let's add auth. But would you do that differently, or am I cool to just start in that direction?
I think that's definitely the right way to go, right? Like there are a couple of ways that you can build apps. You can think about the design, you can think about how like what the product feels like, or you can think about the technicals of it. I think with V0, it's pretty easy to start from either point. My favorite point to start with is the product point of view, because at the end of the day, like how are we interacting with it? So I think you should go from there.
All right.
And it's already selected, but for best results, V0 Max is definitely the way to go.
I'm really glad you said that
Yeah.
because I was using V0 with my dad and he was really struggling to understand when to use Max versus not. So do you default to Max for everything?
I use Max for everything. If you can afford the tokens and the credit consumption, use Max. It'll take a little longer, but the output quality is a lot better.
All right, I'm sold. I'm using Max. And I love the joke that V0 Max is named after V0 Max Lighter, who, of course, we all love.
Max is the GOAT.
All right, so I'm just going to prompt. I'm just going to go for building like an actual inbox. So that first thing comes to mind is like a sidebar with all my messages, some ability to sort, ability to click in, see any email. I guess when you click that, it should probably change the URL in case you like refresh or exactly where you were. And then later what we can do is we can start to make it based on a database. And then from there, make it real, right? Maybe we won't get to the actual receiving of emails right now, but I feel like
that's episode 3.
Yeah, that's episode 3, and when I become a more advanced V0 user. So I guess this is me for my first hands on a keyboard prompting in front of an audience. But let's build. I'm gonna change these, even though I normally wouldn't correct my spelling.
We can handle it. It's okay.
Yeah, I figured that the AI can handle a little typo.
I feel like I like furiously type into it so fast, and it typically can parse through what I'm saying.
You're doing good though, Dan. Whenever I'm typing in front of people, I start like.
Emails received. Called my inbox. Also, later on, I think we should classify some spam.
Ooh.
Spam folder. I think let's have some placeholder emails, but those can probably just live in like a JSON file for now.
What do you mean by placeholder emails?
Yes. So I want to populate it with something so that the system is, I feel like it's a good idea to have real emails at first rather than sort of hard-coded divs.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean by that is just like, if it just hard-coded a few fake emails in there, when I know eventually I'm going to want like individual items, that maybe it'll just get me one step further. So later on, I don't have to replace those with like, hey, start to add some fake data. I'll just start with some fake data.
Go ahead and get the setup there.
So some fake data.
That's a really good tip. Oftentimes, I will ask V0 to like use fake data so that we don't run into the issue where there's divs and you have like the text inside of the divs, but rather we're passing something in so that it's easier to modify later on.
Let's see. So recipients, I guess there could be many. And I'm giving it quite a bit, but I think V0 Max should be able to handle the fact that I'm talking about like sender and recipients. I think it'll totally parse that. And then let's see if there's anything else. With all the info you'd expect from email, subject line, and the full content of the email. Okay, one thing that I'm trying to actually think ahead of time is eventually we want to, and you let me know if I'm typing too much into my first prompt, but so far I think I'm okay. Eventually we want to display full emails, interactive, HTML, all the stuff you might expect in a real email. So make the placeholder data pretty complete. And I think that should be a good start. So I have my like sidebars, I have my folders. Oh, the only thing I'm missing is, let's start with that.
Okay.
And so again, I didn't do the feature of actually clicking into an email, seeing it in your inbox, but I am trying to feed it the underlying dummy data to support an inbox, outbox, which I called sent, and spam. So far, I feel like I'm doing a good job prompting in front of an audience.
We're gonna see soon. So yeah.
Yeah, watch.
Approaches. I'm like, you're doing great, Dan. Ricky's like, we'll see.
That's what I need from you guys: is the emotional support, is the friendship, is the someone to lean on, and then Ricky to, of course, be like, "Ah, Dan, I wouldn't do it that way."
The expert voice. Dan, I am curious. This might be you live stream, Dan, but you seem like a big out loud thinker. When you're typically prompting V0, do you spend a little bit of time thinking to yourself? Do you write it? Do you use somewhere else to prompt together? Or is this just an experience we're getting right now?
No, I do a lot of the thinking into oblivion, sort of like when I'm thinking of what should I do. I don't know if I speak it out loud, but I do sort of like try to think through in my head, like the first I had before of, should you start with the auth and the actual database integration? Like I think about that stuff ahead of time.
Yeah.
So like my first prompt I always feel is very important. Sometimes I feed it a little too much information where I'm like, this is what the end state should look like. So I definitely do like the internal thinking of when should I start with this? Like what's my current end state? I think one of the crazy things about vibe coding is your end state changes like 3 seconds after integration, right? It's like, okay, now I want this. And so I don't know. I don't think too far ahead, but I try to get a good idea.
Yeah. Ricky, how do you process it? And I'm curious, so you said, Dan, for you, it's mostly individual. Is it more collaborative for you, Ricky? And like on the team, do y'all talk about stuff before like this?
I don't think we won't really have the conversations about products and features while prompting or building on V0. I think a lot of times when I'm thinking about things that I'm doing it solo, or I've already taken in the input from other people.
Yeah.
And then for me, that process, I'm like a writer. Writing is how I like go through the thought and make sure everything's like fleshed out.
Very good at it.
And I appreciate that. So I'll just do that like right in the prompt box. And I'll just like figure it out. I'll type delete, like enter a few times so I can have like different blocks for spaces, and then go back, make sure it's coherent, and then shoot it off.
That's cool. So you're making it like your actual workspace while you're in there. That's awesome. Sure. Okay, Dan, what do we have?
Okay, so one of the things I noticed recently was that this reviewing work thing, and again, I'm not on the V0 team, this was like my own assumption, was that reviewing work, it gives you a preview of what you've done, and then reviewing work is actually ensuring that it's going to function as you expected, and then it can continue building if it doesn't. Is that sort of accurate? Like I can interact with this while it's reviewing its work, and then if there's a bug, it'll figure it out. Is that sort of?
Yeah, that's exactly correct, right? Like the goal is to get you something that you can interact with as soon as possible. And if something's wrong, then the agent will fix it. And then we can iterate from there. But usability is the name of the game, you know?
That was, to me, a huge add, because like you get something very quickly and then you can keep iterating. You can start playing with the existing ones so that you can figure out what you want next. And this so far looks pretty awesome. I'm going to close the sidebar so we get a full view. So we got my 3 folders. I'm curious and like at this point, I really don't feel like I need to go to the data, but I am actually curious like how it set it up. I'm sure it gave it like a category. And so I'm just going to refresh and grab.
You're skipping over that you won the lottery, Dan.
So I'm just going to find the data. So basically it made me a full app, which is cool. Next.js based, looks like it's using like all the cool things that I would want it to do but wouldn't know to do on my on my own. But yeah, it's giving me an idea of actually what I would want to store in the database later, which is cool, right? Like for every single email, you may have attachments. We'll probably want some way of storing things like zips, like all of the attachments. And then it's taking these, again, did it have a category? Oh yeah, folder, inbox. So it's pretty cool. So I now have an idea of what's powering these, which is pretty much what we asked for. There's some functionality that's not yet in there, like this looks like it's telling me it's unread, but when I click it, it doesn't. It's not automatically reading it. It's like those are small things that we'll eventually want to do. But so far, it's feeling pretty good. There's also, now that I'm looking at it, like no ability to create a new email, which we can certainly do. But I like where we are at now. Ricky, any thoughts come to mind on?
Yeah, there are a couple things that I think about, right? When you say you click on the email and it's not turning to like it's already read,
Yeah.
I would look at the data that the fake data that we use and see if they're passing in like a read or unread.
Yeah. Okay,
We
so there is one that we can update.
Okay.
So I'll start
Right.
working on a new prompt of like the things that I think we should do while you tell me the other things that that caught your attention.
Yeah. So that's one of them, right? We want to make sure that we have like a store, but that we can also change that state on the front end. And so it looks like it's being passed in, but if you go into like the components that actually render the emails, it's likely the case that we're not changing the state and we're not actually editing the email data. But that's also a bit expected because we're not storing this anywhere real yet. And then I think another thing that I just want to call out, right? Like that's a feature that wasn't there and it wasn't requested, but we also took the approach of making this an iterative process. If you say like Visual, just go build this and you build every single thing, that's also another way. I just prefer, and so I advise Dan to do it this way. But that is still, you can still try to one shot some pretty cool things with V0.
Amazing. Okay, so we've got the red. Any feature requests? Oh, by the way, I'd love to take feature requests from the audience. I think that was sort of one of the main things is let's build what everyone wants us to build. The initial idea came from the audience, but let's build on top of that. So what I did so far is I just prompted to, I think like a normal inbox doesn't just say, hey, you clicked on it, mark as read. It like if you sit on it for a second, then it knows, okay, this person actually probably can have this email marked registered as read. The other thing I'm noticing is this little favorite.
Wait, is that real? As soon as I open mine, it's like it's gone.
Oh, I'm pretty sure there's like a small, I mean, I'm sure everyone is different, but a small time. This is like totally, or at least that's how I would want it to work. I wouldn't want it to just automatically mark as read if I went boom, 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 boom. Debatable preferences for everyone. But what we could also do is have a mark as read and mark as unread button, depending on the current state. So that'll do mark as read. What are the other features? Okay, favorite. So let's see if this works. Okay, so favorite, it added that. I didn't have that in my initial prompt. Favoriting, let's make favoriting work. So I put the star icon, it marks it as favorite. Also add a new folder of my favorites, anything that's favorited. So I'm going to give it a lot. Ricky, do you think it'd handle more than this at once, or should I go with this and then we can brainstorm if we want to add like a text, like a sending email functionality, or what comes next?
Yeah, so what we can also do is queue prompts. So we can send this one off and then start thinking about the next batch of things that we want to do.
That's a good call. So should we? Oh, go for it.
No, I was just curious, because I feel like I queue prompts when I have more ideas that come, but I never do it strategically. Do you suggest if you have different specific things that you really want it focused on to go ahead and queue them rather than batch them?
So I think when I think about batching or queuing, I think about what is like the related context of things that I'm working on, right? So this was all like changing the state or changing the data of what the emails can do. We have like favorites, we have read, unread, and then my like next thing, say we want to build like, all right, AI summary. That's like another thing that I would think about that I would probably separate out in the order of which I'm sending my prompts. Does that make sense?
Yep, that's very helpful for a brain that has a lot of ideas and doesn't always think in context.
Yeah, and it's a good point because I do queue messages too, and the reason I was talking earlier about like I don't know the end state of my vibe coded apps, because as you like sort of can, if you were writing a PRD, like a product requirements doc, you're like, okay, here's the things that come to mind before I can visualize anything. But you visualize things within a few seconds and then you see what else you want, and then the end state changes. Like there could be some functionality that we create here that's like email 4.0. If we come up with cool things and change the email game forever, maybe we have a little startup going on. But like, you just let your creativity flow, and like, so yeah, then I'll type things in before generation finishes, and then we didn't even get to one just now. Let's see where we're at. So I'm going to click into this email, and let's see if it gets. Okay, it waited a few seconds. It's been a little shorter, but it marked it as red. I'm gonna mark it as red. That was good. Okay. Okay. Okay.
We're cooking, chat.
We are cooking. Look at us. Okay, and the numbers up here are working, which is pretty nice. So if you mark it as red, you'll see that like that number 1, right? So far it has a pretty good understanding of my email inbox, I think. I feel like we can connect it to a database and maybe put this behind auth. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, so right now it's all dummy data. I want to integrate with some sort of database to store the emails, as well as have users authenticate. Of course, one of the main things when users authenticate, they should only be able to see the one more thing comes to mind. So something sent to them, something they've sent, and their specific status for each email. I'll explain what I mean by that. So when I favorited something, like imagine 2 people on the same email and they're both in our database. I don't want one person to favorite or mark it as read and have that affect the other person's, right? So there needs to be some way of having every email that's sent or received in this system to sort of be, maybe it's like duplicated. Maybe it's the same email, but for each person, and which I think is actually how it works in the real world. It's like one email stored twice because it's technically written to 2 different people. And then you just have your database sort of like update each one of those rather than maintaining like, hey, for this email ID, this person has favorited it. Ricky, would you get that specific, or would you let the AI make the decision for you? Like, am I going too deep into telling it how to architect the emails, or are these the questions you want to be sort of thinking about?
So I think, like, as an engineer, right, that's a question that I would think about, and I've actually like started thinking about it while you were talking about it. But I think the beauty of V0 is that you don't need to.
Okay.
Right? Like, as long as you say, hey, like, I want these things to be specific for each user and not be the state to be shared, they don't know what to do.
Okay. So let's make decisions on their inboxes without affecting anybody else's inbox, even if it's for the same message. So again, what I'm really talking about here is like, I want to take actions on this message being unread and that not affecting anybody else who is also CC'd. So anybody else on the marketing team or Alex Johnson, which I'm assuming I'm Alex Johnson. Oh no, I'm just you. Oh, this is my inbox. Okay, cool. So that seems pretty good. Should we just kick this off? See where we get. Anything else I missed from the start? Right now it's running on dummy data. Let's also put the dummy data in the database itself rather than local, right? So if I'm adding a database, I want it to like sort of stop using the dummy data and start populating that database. I think that's a pretty good start. You let me know if I should stop this at any point and edit it if I totally messed up. But it feels pretty good. All right, so integrated database, store emails, add auth, ensure users can see that. Okay, so it looks like it's choosing Supabase for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and install Supabase. And I believe what it's going to do is prompt me to get started. Ooh, so what I'm going to do is, so I don't have actually permissions on this account, but all I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my own Define account. So this is my own pro account. I'm just going to go to Supabase and add one there. And so this is Vercel Marketplace. You have different access on different teams. You can go and install any products. So what I'm going to do is install Supabase, but on this account.
And if you're showing the enterprise marketplace, we still just see the chat, but also voiceover.
Can you see this?
We just see the V0 chat. So
it's crazy. I'm glad you mentioned that. Let me see what I need to do. Oh, I see. Sorry. So basically, I'm in Marketplace, and I'm just setting up a database. Hopefully, I'm not at my free plan limit. If I am, I'll just unpause one. But this is like our email inbox, and I guess at this point we're like pretty set.
We're making email 4.0 right now.
No, we're
okay, cool.
Ooh, it doesn't like my dot. Okay, 4.0, perfect. All right, so I'm setting it up, and then what I'm going to do is, because it wasn't connected to my Vercel one, I'm just going to copy the environment variables in, and so hopefully nobody steals them. But I'll
get sniped.
Yeah, you can take your screen off for right now.
Okay, that's a good idea. So what I'm going to do now is basically all I did was, and I mean it's all I did, but it's not all the system did. Is the system prompted me to go create a Supabase database. I went into Vercel Marketplace. That's where it linked me. I just changed teams, but all I did was I created a Supabase database. And V0 will have, in my eyes, I'll be able to tell it like, hey, I didn't set it up. It won't maybe know that it's connected to the project, but I will give it all the environment variables it needs to start reading this and then continue in the process. So what I'm going to do is just copy this snippet. These are all my environment variables. I'm going to go to V0. Hopefully I go to the right tab. If I can find the right tab. Where did it go? So many tabs. Okay, we're still back. And now I'm just going to switch over to the other screen share. Cool.
When you get the V0 screen back up too, I'll show you something cool that you could do as well.
Here he comes, V0 expert coming in.
Cool. So yeah, what would you do here? So now I have my envars in clipboard. What would you do?
So there are two things, right? If you want to use your envars, we can go to the sidebar and we can click on the vars, and then we can add all the variables that we need, right?
So here's where I know I've been going off screen share, but I'm just going to literally copy and paste. And so I'm just going to do that for 2 seconds, add my variables, and we'll come right back. That way, you can keep it a little bit more secure, right? You don't want to be sharing those envars with anybody else. And so
that's super important too. Like at V0, security. And so the whole way that we've built and architected the app is to make sure that we aren't things that should not be shared.
Yeah, so now this is a view I'm actually comfortable with you guys seeing, which is my environment variables are all in here, but they're obfuscated. You can't see them unless my URL is all dots. And so that feels pretty good. Was there anything else, Ricky, that you would do beyond this at this stage?
So another option, right? Like if you know that you don't want to work with Supabase, or there's a specific database type that you want to use, before we prompt, you can go to the Connect tab on the sidebar. Ooh. And then you can add any integration that you would like. So we could have used Neon here. We could have used Upstash. There's a bunch of options that connect with the Vercel Marketplace that you showed the users earlier that you also have access to.
Amazing. So again, the only reason it's still registering as connecting is because I didn't have permissions on a team. I guess that's a security policy that we have in place, which is actually pretty good. Like you don't want everyone on your team to be able to go and create anything they want and start, racking up bills or whatever, due to people you trust. So you can set different permissions for different users, and then they can do whatever. Because what happened here is I made it for my own team, so now I'm right, and that's fine. But that's sort of in line with what my team set me up to be allowed to do. So I'm gonna do skip, and I think what it's gonna do, or actually what I'm gonna do is I added the environment variables myself. So we're all set with this Supabase integration. Continue building it out. And I think that should be good. I'm gonna press enter and see where we get.
And so you guys know as well too, right? That Supabase thing is for like enterprise users. There's like a whole thing about being able to use integrations. But if I on my personal account were to do this, like Dan said, then I'd have no problem connecting Supabase.
Okay, so let's see. So confirm. So now it knows that I sort of bypass that. One of the things that's cool with that is that I don't have to use Vercel Marketplace at all. I can bring my own BYODB, bring your own database. Let's make a trend on Twitter. And so I could have just brought anything, right? I could have just said, hey, here's all the information that I would need to set up with a Supabase. Maybe I already have a Supabase org, already have a Supabase database. This is to make it much easier, but you don't have to use it. It's not like this way or the highway. You can bring your own. And then to your point, I could have said, actually, I don't want to use Supabase, I want to use Neon. So now you have all the context. Let me build up the complete integration, feed it with dummy data. One of the things that's probably cool at this point is if I pull up, let's go to Supabase for my define integrations. I'm just going to go back and forth between Vercel. So I'm going to go to my last updated 5 minutes ago, go to my most recent one, which is email inbox. And I'm just going to go into this actual database. So what we'll see is that it probably, unless it's already done it on the V0 side, it probably has nothing. Yeah, so it's just an empty database. And now V0 is going to help me figure out the migrations required, like basically like, how do I populate this? So I don't actually need to know anything about this database, but I can have some visibility into it. I have full control. It is a true database behind the scenes. Then if I go back to V0, it's creating these two migrations. So it's creating the tables themselves, and then it's going to feed my dummy data. So the data that was in the JSON is actually now going to populate those data, those tables that it's creating for me. He's doing quite a bit of thinking on that one, which is nice.
And just for the approachability of everyone building, I rarely ever click into the database actually, like in the interface, unless there's an error and then I can just go easily fix it. But I feel like I'm only talking to V0 about it. It's all in the background.
I don't think I've ever once actually clicked and looked at the database. Yeah.
Dan's just taking it a step above. You might actually be the V0 expert, Dan.
Oh no, yeah, maybe I undersold myself at the beginning. I'm actually a pro. No, I don't go in there other than just to be like, oh, like I kind of feel like it did a lot for me, and
yeah,
I have visibility into it. But yeah, it's just something that like you can do, and it's cool to know you can do it, even if you never have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, to the visibility point, right? Like you have, in some sense, as much or as little control as you want. You can go step by step, be very specific. You can say, do this generally, let V0 cook. You can go change the database. Like there's so much that you can do. It really is like whatever level of expertise that you choose to use, you can use with V0.
I'm curious, as someone who is an engineer and has a lot of expertise, and I think would historically want that control, how have you felt yourself in the way that you're approaching building products change? Like, do you want less control now and to focus more on like the product vision, or how does it change how you approach it?
Yeah, so I like to focus on the product vision. So what I find myself using V0 for is making sure that the experience feels really tight, right? When the engineering comes, you think about things like scaling and things like making sure it's secure, which V0 is good at. I don't need to worry about that because I know V0 will take care of it. And so instead, like right when we have all of these tools, what really matters is taste. And so how does my taste, like V0's taste is good, but then I have my own opinion, or my users have opinions, right? And so how do we integrate that? And that's exactly like what it is.
Now I'm thinking about your taste, looking at the UI, are you sort of disgusted by it? Are you pleased with it? Are you? Are there things you would change? Because I don't have the design eye, but I want to make sure you're pleased. And
I mean, all right. So there's a few
There
things,
we
right?
go.
Like one of the beautiful things about working on V0 is that our designers are insanely good, and so they help you learn an eye for detail. So like one of the little things is like the email icon next to the mail is a little larger, and to me like that's a little, I don't know, I don't really like that. Um, I think I would default to a full screen view, right? Like if I am looking at my emails and I don't have a specific email open, I want to see just the emails. I don't want this like
oh yeah, whatever this is,
panel.
view. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's a good call. Has this been bothering you the whole time? Be
Look,
honest.
I'm trying to let you cook, Dan. Let's just...
All right, so let's see what's going on. To get started, run the SQL scripts in order. Okay, so I have that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run all. So basically, again, it gave me scripts. I don't have to go to Supabase. I'm just going to run these three, and then it should have access to the Supabase account because they're my environment variables. And let's see how we do. But let's also look at the left. So database schema, 2 tables, emails and user emails. So this is actually doing that second part of, ooh, nice. This is doing that second part we were talking about, which is like not letting any single user interact with somebody else's. So I guess I'll do, I'm just gonna do, let's see, password, oh, of course. This is what typing in front of an audience.
It's vulnerable. It's vulnerable, Dan. Don't be too hard on yourself.
This is nice. Let me see if I can double check my email.
While Dan's doing that, Ricky, you have fan mail in the chat.
Oh, nice.
Someone's asking if Ricky works on a particular part of V0.
Yeah, so I work across a few different things. I work a lot with our ambassadors actually, so our referral program. If you see that button in the top right where it says like refer, I helped work on that. Done some stuff with integrations and I don't know, kind of all across the product, but really like, when we think about like growth and we think about user experience, those are the kind of things that I typically focus on.
Yeah.
So I don't have functionality yet to write an email, and my dummy data had no idea who I was when I logged in. So I'm just gonna ask it for some more dummy data.
That was actually one of the things that I was going to tell you is that so I'm sure it seeded the database correctly, right? But it might have seeded the data for that, like for a test user.
Yeah.
So since you're creating a new user, you're going to have to do what you're doing. Exactly.
And by that, you mean that he wasn't actually signed in as a user, so the data wasn't associated with his account?
Yes, it might have been associated with the test account that was optioned at the beginning. Yeah.
Cool. So this lets me sort of bypass creating the send functionality by just making sure that the dummy data actually works for the environment we're in. And that was fairly quick. All I did was ask it to assign that data. So again, I went off screen before to go in my inbox and confirm my email. So let's see. I don't know if they ran actually.
Let's see. Go to configure.
Where do you find that?
In the top of the generation, the yellow banner.
Oh, okay. Oh, amazing. Good call. So now I'm going to run that one that just created.
Dan, is there an intentional reason why you only ran the last one versus all of them?
I already ran those. So my data. So what's nice about these migrations is they're sort of numbered and in order. So if you keep generating, you'll know that the most recent one or the most recent few were the ones that you need to actually run.
Yeah.
Dan, let's check the database.
Okay.
In this example, yeah.
After I said I would never check the database.
Sometimes you need to. Sometimes you want to. So I'm just going to go in here, go to my table.
Yeah, okay. So I think what happened is that because the way that we handle our integrations when it prompts you to add, it you added the environment variables, but it thinks that you're still using the integration. And so when it ran the scripts, it tried to run it on an integration that doesn't technically exist.
Got it.
Um, so what we can do in this case, we can keep trying to troubleshoot through this, or we can try to switch to Neon if you are certain that this team has access to that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So let me go and confirm. That sounds like a good idea. Let's do integrations on the Vercel side. Let me just quickly confirm. I should be able to create one. So what should I do here? Connect an integration, try for Neon, then go ahead and go through that process, and then I'll tell the script after.
Yeah, and what we can try too, if you go to the chat, and say like, can we do this with Neon instead?
Okay, and then let me see if I have the ability on. Cool, it should work. That's pretty cool. All right, let's see if I can create a Neon database in the Vercel account. Let's see, hopefully it doesn't give me a permissions issue for this one. Okay, so far, looking good. Provide built-in auth. Continue. Should have done that from the start. Ricky, Ricky, can you vibe code with me all the time?
I got you.
All right, so my database successfully created. It's connecting.
Also,
oh, sorry.
I'm not. I was just going to say we are nearing the end of the build. So if anyone in the chat has any questions or any other last minute ideas you want to throw, Dan, we can throw them in.
So that was pretty cool though. Like it gave me an idea of, okay, so I could connect to Marketplace. I didn't personally have permissions for Supabase. Maybe there are some protections that we have on one end, but I had the ability to do it on the Neon side. And so like you can just switch things up. And like I was saying before, like again, that ideal state is going to differ from like as you go. Like so, if I told it to use Supabase, it would have been a waste of time because eventually we would have been Neon. So it's like less is more sometimes, and then you just adapt. But I think it's super cool. I think that's like one of the things I love about vibe coding is you just change your approach as you go.
Awesome. And we did have a question from the chat of if we can see how the Vercel team adds agentic features, or are we going to build that next session? Do y'all think that we could work in some drafting emails with AI in this session? We've got like 15.
I think that'd be awesome.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. So I know it's connecting. I don't know if we want to keep that rolling. Ricky, what would any suggestion on that side?
Yeah, click on the connect tab for me.
Oh, it just went. Amazing. Okay, continue building. Cool. So now I'm switching from Supabase to Neon. Again, only because of personal permissions thing. I need to speak with whoever I need to speak with.
Yeah, Dan, get on the case, man. We got to figure this out.
What did I do to not be allowed to have Supabase access?
They'll see you after this power hour and realize they made a big mistake.
Yeah, like he needs all the privileges. So the user wants to switch from Neon. Okay. Pretty cool it's handling itself. But let's start thinking about the AI feature. So one of the things I guess we would want to do is have a system that maybe we'll do it manually. So like click on an email and identify if it's spam, right? Because we set up that spam folder. So, and let me know if it's a good idea. Like we'd have some sort of like API that handles an email ID. That can then call the email, run it against some AI system that has some guidelines of like, hey, does this look spammy or not? And then returns a yes or no. Ideally, that would happen as emails come in. But we don't have emails coming in yet. We're just starting to create the initial setup. So does that sound reasonable? And then
yeah, we could also do AI summaries.
Yeah. And
Oh, that's a cooler
one of
idea.
the feature requests was also like being able to read an email that comes in and draft with AI, like suggested prompt, or I mean, a suggested response.
Oh, that's way cooler. Spam is boring.
For the sake of time, let's do the AI summary one.
Yeah, that's so much cooler. All right, I love it.
Keep us on track.
Yeah.
All right, so migrating to Neon with Cosmos. I'm gonna start prepping my prompt. If there's something I need to do before that, I can always copy to clipboard. And so it's just ability to.
Yeah, you can do that.
You can?
Yeah, the Visa can do that.
Oh,
Pretty
cool.
confident, yeah.
So how much detail would you give it? Like I could feed it sort of like the AI stack that I would want it to use. I guess the question from the audience was, how would I do it at Vercel? Should I give it a little bit guidance like AI SDK, AI Gateway, or what would you recommend at this point? How much information would you feed it to sort of direct the architecture?
Yeah, whenever I add AI features, I'm not specific. I
Yep.
just use AI SDK. The beautiful thing about Vercel and the ecosystem is that all these tools just work natively together. So I don't even need to be that specific about it. If I wanted it to use something different, then I could just add the environment variables and go that way. But AI SDK and Gateway are the way to go, guys.
Sounds good to me. So would you say what I have here in the prompt is actually probably good enough? So introduce the ability to summarize emails with AI, and I'll make it a little larger so you can see it. Hopefully.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so then what I should do now is configure, and I'll run these because again, now we switch to Neon. Let's see how we do. And so to your question earlier, Caroline, now I ran all three. Yeah. So, I think what happened was it actually did some thinking. Oh, it actually reviewed work. It must have found an error. So the file editing strategy was off. And so it reloaded because it found an error. And then that sound you may have heard just now actually saying, okay, now I'm ready. So let's run these. And I guess one of the other cool things is you could always run them manually. You really shouldn't have to, but you can always run them manually.
No, yeah, they'll run in order.
Okay, cool. Ooh. Right, little error. I'm just going to go. I'm just going to open Neon and quickly just go to my SQL editor and just pop in those few things. So I've got my scripts. Just gonna pop that in. So basically, I just ran it myself, right? And so no big deal, easy. 1, 2. All I'm doing is populating my database. It doesn't have me as a user yet. So what I need to do is, so what it did was it combined that last step actually in this new prompt. So what I can do now probably, now let's try it, is sign up. So sign up again. Oops. Okay, I'm in. Now let's try to rerun that. Cool. So emails were seeded. So now if I refresh this one.
You can also, if you don't want to refresh the whole site, you can also just refresh up there.
Oh yeah, you're right. Way nicer experience. Okay, so let's see if our functionality works. Okay, that was awesome. So it marked it as red. I have a favoriting functionality. So we're all set. Like I have my database. I actually have the seeded data. I have these as coming to me, and I have my sent. And then if you made an account, which I could really publish and give people access to this, could make it available. But let's just start with this AI summary. So I'm just going to go ahead and prompt with that. So again, what we're doing here is I want to be able to click on an email and then have it summarize it, because people write really long emails, and Ricky had a better idea of summarizing rather than looking at spam, because spam is kind of boring. And so now I'll add the AI summarization feature. All right, so it chose AI SDK with AI Gateway, which is, of course, super sweet.
Such a smart choice.
You agree.
Also, I found that really helpful running through the database. I know it was a little difficult, but I feel like that's one of the problems that personally, as someone who's not native to working in databases, like if you're alone spinning, it's like, what's going on and why, and it's not working. So thank you, Dan, for that. That was helpful.
I think one of the cool things that I skipped just to save some time is you could have asked V0 to just walk you through it.
It's so helpful. Like sometimes I didn't even know like where to run a specific script, and I just asked V0 and it like guides me through it step by step, and it's so nice.
Signing in. Ooh, I think it's okay. And then let's see. Did it possibly do it already? Where's my little? Oh, I think it might be up here. Ooh, summarize. I've got my little summarize button.
Do you have design thoughts on that, Ricky?
No way. All right, I genuinely like that. That was awesome.
That's so cool.
And here's the thing, right? That's still a lot of text. I might want 1 or 2 sentences. So you could also be like, hey, we should make this shorter. Make the summary shorter.
How about or provide 2 summaries? Let's see. I'm gonna see if, and I know I wrote sewers, so instead of users, but I'm gonna sort of see if we could. I got a little too confident after that one worked well. That I created 1 summary. Can we create 2 summaries? Right, 1 for Ricky and 1 for anyone who has like a little bit longer of a summary. Ooh, it called it a TLDR, which is cool. 1 sentence for Ricky. It knows you.
I love
it knows you.
V0 is my bestest friend.
I feel like
also, while it's building that, for anyone who's still on in the chat, I would love to build more things like this and like actually show how you can work across V0 and Vercel and build real agentic capabilities. And so if you're in the chat and you have any other ideas that have been sparked after this amazing and satisfying summaries experience, Cinnamon, because I think that it would be cool to do more of it. And I think it's, again, people want to be doing so much. And so the more we can build together, it's fun.
Okay, so it did it, but it's reviewing its work. So I'm gonna wait before I sign in. Okay, so it's satisfied with what it did. I'm gonna sign in, and then let's see if we get our inbox. And then I'm gonna go to a different email this time. Ooh, amazing!
Oh, 2 options.
TLDR. Okay, so this is okay. Pretty sick, Ricky.
See, that's what I want to see.
And then like maybe I want a little more detailed version. And so now it's doing its thinking. It's hitting the AI. All right, I'm pretty stoked.
Cool.
How about so we don't have the ability to generate responses like new emails. We can do that next time. But it would be cool to be like generate a response. This one probably doesn't get a response because it's a notification email. But now maybe I want to respond to this proposed revision. So maybe what we do next time is we consider, hey, based on the context of this, generate a summary, and then maybe it'll even suggest responses that you might have, and then we could go to that. So we'll build like if you guys will have me on again, of course.
Oh, Dan, when you said it once, and I'm already like thinking in the calendar. Are you free next Wednesday?
I think this would be awesome. If we take it to the next level, we have like an email composer,
Yeah.
and then we have the ability to take our summaries, create suggestions, and then we combine the two. Right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Basically, say, hey, take this, write a summary, put it in the email composer, and then start to send emails. And at some point, maybe we use something like resend to send emails. And
that was the original prompt request, actually. So I think we got to deliver.
Are you saying I didn't come through?
No. Just not yet. We'll do it though. That's awesome.
Cool. Well, I'm pretty stoked. Let's try one more of just this week in tech, which is looks like it's already a summary of things. And sorry, Ricky, is that too much reading? I don't want you to have to read all that. Okay, there you go. I gave you your TLDR.
This is awesome. Ricky, any expert feedback for Dan?
I think this was great. We kind of talked through a lot of the different things that you can do. I think what was really cool is actually showing the database, because if you are a user, if you aren't that technical, right, you can use V0, things can happen, and you can understand what to do and how to fix. You aren't ever stuck in the state that you currently are, right? You can always learn more, and I feel like we try to make it as easy as possible to do that. And then, of course, as Dan is showing you, which I was definitely going to mention, we definitely can publish our sites. We can create templates from our sites. So it doesn't have to stop with just your idea. It also can move forward to sharing that idea with the world.
So now I kind of want people to play with this. By default, our enterprise account makes deployments protected to just Vercel employees. But all I can do is go from all deployments, which would require password protection for everyone on the planet, for every single domain, to standard protection, which will make our production domain actually available. And so as soon as that deployment's done, so basically all I did was change who can access the deployment. This one's already ready. So if you go to this, you should be able to access it, and you should be able to sign up. The one thing you probably won't be able to do, I should be able to log in. The thing you shouldn't be able to do would be create any emails. So you might have a blank one, but now I'm getting hopefully some users, because again, this is possibly a brand new startup that we're going to create. And yeah, I think that's pretty cool. So what we have here is this is a full Vercel deployment. This is live. This is live on the internet. Anybody can go to it. You won't have you won't be blocked by authentication other than our app authentication, because what we did was we changed that. But very quickly, it made it accessible to the entire planet on Vercel's global network. It has all of things like API endpoints, which are running Vercel functions, AI SDK, AI gateway. So again, we touched 0 API keys. We're connected to LLMs, right? Pretty cool, if you ask me.
That's awesome. Okay, well, we're getting more questions for the next time building. Some good ideas.
Oh, love it.
Can we get an agent builder series where we focus on generative UI and people can learn all about agents, and have a hackathon at the end where everyone submits their project for the V0 ambassador program? Ricky, did you put that?
They know me. Yeah. We're locked in.
Speaking in Ricky and I's language. That's awesome. But yes, we can work on making that happen. I do know that we are at the hour of Power Hour. Dan, Ricky, this was so fun.
This was awesome.
It sounds like we're gonna keep doing it next Wednesday.
I'm down. I'm in. If I'm invited back.
Ricky's like, I don't know yet.
Nah, we'll be back. It's good.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you to everyone who joined us, and seriously, Dan and Ricky, thank you so much.
Yeah.
It was really fun, and I'm excited. We have a lot of ideas for what we're going to build next time. So join us on the next Power Hour next Wednesday.
Sounds awesome.